Chelsea, my daughter? Is that you?
You're my baby, and I'm your mother.
That's right.
I'm not your daughter. You're my baby, and my baby got a new bowl cut because it looks very, very fresh. Did you just cut it right now?
Yeah, she's been trimming it. She's talking about your work, Corinne. She says your hair. I'll put this is Corinne.
Her bowl cut. I don't know if her cut actually. I thought maybe her hair actually just starts cutting itself when it gets too long.
Well, let's not talk about that, Chelsea. I'd be out of a job.
Oh, okay. Copy that. So there is somebody tending to it. Okay, like a gardener. Okay, got it.
I am a gardener. Yes.
Okay.
Have fun, guys.
Thank you. I am. Yeah. No. Can you believe? Yeah. This is today I said, I'm going to see Chelsea. Let's get that pristine cut going. And hi, Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
Atsuko Okatsuka's here, everybody. That took me a long time to say that name properly, and now it just rolls right off the tongue. Atsuko Okatsuka. You're going to tell me I'm saying it wrong, are you?
No, not at all. And it was Chelsea?
Yeah, it's Shelly, actually.
We love a woman that's always updating herself,
yes, Absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's so many seasons to being a woman.
It's always a surprise, your own body.
Now that I'm 50, I'm like, oh God, so many different things. Like I remember when I was younger, my boobs were so big, right? They were so big. And now as I've gotten more in shape and like leaner and older, they've gotten to the exact size that I like. They're not they're not too much. Like I can contain them. And like all of these different changes that you go through in your body, like I always heard such negative things about aging. And I have to say, like I'm having a positive aging experience. And I wish the same for you, Atsuko, because I know you're not old. How old are you?
I am 36.
36.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm 14 years older than you, and I want you to know. Well, you're Asian, so your aging experience is already going to be superior to Caucasians' aging experience. Aging is not to be confused with Asians.
Hey, happy Aging Month, which is May.
Happy Aging Month.
Yeah, which is May. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Wait, right? I'm wondering. Wait, have we started recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Yes, yeah, he's rolling. He's rolling for you.
Incredible. No, I was like, we're catching up so good already. Ooh.
No, we're going to use all of this. Don't worry. We want our audience to know the ins and outs of all of our relationships.
No, I appreciate that, what you just said about that aging. I don't relate to the big boobs to the finally good boobs or like perfect size boobs. For me, it's always been the same. AA.
Since you were born?
Pretty much, yeah. Which is nice. I like consistency, so.
Yeah, and a AA, that's almost like you don't even have to wear a bra, right? Or do you?
Yeah.
Do you wear a bra?
I was being humble. I just realized I'm actually a B. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, I didn't realize that. So you've graduated. Now you're a B.
Okay, and my grandma, double Ds. Who knew?
Wow.
Yeah, see, some people get bigger boobs as they get older. Did she always have bigger boobs?
I don't think she ever was measured until more recently when we were buying bras for her. And she didn't seem fazed because it's not like she really has girlfriends that she talks about bra sizes with. So I said, Grandma, what was the measurement? She goes, 36 double D, like a soft flex. My jaw dropped. And she said, what? That's not normal? I said, it's not what I have. I thought we were related.
Atsuko has a new special out on Hulu. It's called Father. By the time this comes out, your special will be airing. This is your sophomore special on Hulu and Disney. It's called Father. Now, without giving away any of the jokes in the special, why did you call it Father?
Well, so I do talk a little bit about reconnecting with my dad in it, but also like my fans call me mother. We were talking about, well, I call you mother, but my fans call me mother. And, but mothers have it together, right? So I'm more father,
right. I'm also kind of more of a father than a mother, A stepfather is where I come into my own,
Yeah, where we're like both thriving in life, but sometimes clueless about everyday basics. Like we're like the sun and the moon are different, or that was you, but
Oh, thank you.
Just to, and or that I didn't know I hadn't been doing the laundry for the past 7 years, like that kind of thing.
But is Ryan doing the laundry? Ryan is Atsuko's husband.
Yes.
Who I refer to as her captor, because he takes care of all things Atsuko. And if Atsuko didn't have Ryan in her life, Atsuko, she probably wouldn't even be alive.
I would live outside and and maybe thrive, because of my personality. But Ryan is mother. Yeah, he's the one that's been doing the laundry this whole time. We were both surprised though. It was like this devastating moment where we both realized, wait, that means it's been you this whole time.
And that was a surprise to you.
Yeah, and it all was
it a
revealed.
surprise to Ryan, who was doing the laundry?
Yes, because sometimes you just go, oh, here's fresh new laundry, and you forget that, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just don't know you're the one that's been doing it. And the times he's not doing it, he thought I'd been doing mine, but I just wasn't washing my clothes.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I believe no, it doesn't make sense at all, but I believe you. I believe you. When I come to Whistler, I don't have a housekeeper here. It couldn't be farther afield than my life in LA or my life anywhere else for that matter. I have a cleaning lady that comes like once a week, and that's it. And my place here is small enough that I can't really blow anything up. But when I first came here for 2 weeks in COVID, I was washing my own clothes for the first time in many, many years, and I was using the dryer as a washer. And I was putting the detergent in the dryer, and then my clothes would come out, and they were like stained and tie-dyed, and they were they were dry though. And so I was so confused because the dryer's on top of the washer, and it's like one of those stacked things. And so for the longest time, I was like, I don't understand. It's like, I can't be this bad at washing clothes. And then it struck me that I was, yes. And that was a big wake up call for me. I thought, wow, you're a real fucking idiot.
Oh my God, me too. Why are we twins? Yeah.
I don't know. We don't look like twins, but we have a lot in common.
Yes, yeah. We're
fraternal.
We're fraternal.
We're fraternal from different continents.
In the 7th grade, I did have blonde hair, so I did wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was you looking for your real mother. So it says that there's a joke that Tig Notaro told that you were in the New York Times talking about, the joke that changed your life. What was that joke from Tig?
It's called No Moleste if we name jokes, right? And it's just about how when she was performing in Mexico, right? Every time she's in a hotel, she puts the do not disturb sign up, but in Spanish it's No Moleste. And you just laugh if you're like an English speaker because, that's scary to have to put that up every night. And
which, by the way, we should have signs that say that at our hotel rooms in America anyway. We should have signs that say No Moleste.
You know what? Actually, that's very true. That joke didn't age well because these days you do need that, literally.
I remember that joke from Tig. Tig has a great joke writing ability. Some people, you do that too because you have great jokes, but you're also telling personal stories. So you combine the two. Because, there's comics that just tell jokes, setup, premise, setup, and a punchline. Whereas there are many comedians are storytellers. I'm a storyteller. I tell stories and there are jokes within the stories and punchlines within the stories. But you blend both of those things together, I think, very nicely.
Thank you. I mean, we all didn't live 40 years each year like you did. You know what I mean? Where every time I hear your stories, I'm like, okay, but she's only 8 years old and she already did what? She's spiking people's lemonades? You know what I mean? Like, at a young age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I need to blend, sometimes jokes about the weather because I'm like, big old things didn't happen every month.
Right, absolutely. I understand, Atsuko. So how has it been going with you and Ryan on the road? Where have you guys been lately? I mean, I haven't seen you in almost I don't know. Has it been a year? I don't think it's been a year. I haven't seen you since we had a dinner party at my friend's house while she was upstairs in her bedroom.
I know, right? We just took over her place and her dinner time, I feel like. We were just eating your friend's tacos. It was meant for her kids and we were eating them.
I was staying at my friend Allison's house, and I was like, Allison, can I have some people over for dinner tonight? No, I wasn't even staying there. I just said that was a good meeting point because you guys are so far east, and my house wasn't really fully done, and It never will be. And I was like, do you guys want? And I was dating someone at the time. Oh yeah, I had my mountain man there, and I was like, oh, let's all have dinner. And I was like, this is a good middle spot. So I just called my friend, and I said, can I have some people over for dinner? And she's like, well, I'm getting my eyelashes done, and I'm like, no, you're not invited. Like, can I I have people over for dinner and we're doing our own thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So that was the last time I think we saw each other, right?
Yes, yeah, it's like a very classic, hang out with Chelsea Handler moment. Yeah, at one point we were hanging out, drinking tequilas, eating tacos. I went inside and saw kids. I screamed because for a second I was like, wait, right, this isn't Chelsea's house? I was like, who are they?
Who are they?
Exactly. It's their house.
Imagine how I felt when I saw the kids. And I was like, whoa. I just asked to have a dinner party here. I didn't sign up for this sort of chicanery.
That's right. I didn't know we were all eating the same meal. Oh, this is your meal.
Where are you on the subject of having children? Are you ever going to procreate, do you think?
No, remember, that's our sisterhood promise.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure nothing has changed.
Yeah, no, that biological clock they talk about, that doesn't exist within me. I don't even own a real clock.
Right.
So no, I don't, that's such a big thing that supposedly quickly changes within you. No, it's not like my favorite color changing.
Right. I understand that. So how has it been traveling with Ryan? What have you guys learned? Like your relationship, you spend so much time with your husband. I mean,
right.
I don't know anyone who spends more time with their husband. Do you guys ever fight?
We do. Yes, we do. But
what do you fight about?
Mostly it's, Atsuko, you have to put the keys in the right place every time, the same place. It's very simple. It's a lot of that. I do ask a lot of him because he works with me and, for me. And so, yeah, sometimes it's that. And I've been, keeping up. I've been trying to be more organized because it's a reciprocal thing, right? Relationships. But we've been to Asia, we've been to Australia, New Zealand, and Europe with my tour together.
And did you bring your grandmother or your mother on one of those trips? On a couple of those trips, right?
I wanted to, but honestly, they're too old now. So, yeah, so it's just me and Ryan, going to see Paris together, took him to a cabaret. That was fun, and so, yeah, I love seeing different cultures. We love traveling together and, just based on how people laugh, I feel like you can really learn a lot about a culture,
Uh-huh. Like what? What culture surprised you? Like which cultures were the most surprising to you?
Okay, the Scandinavians really surprised me in a pleasant way. I didn't know anything about them. I had seen the movie Frozen. It's an animated movie. I said, is it kind of like that? And because I was so worried, I said, all my life, right, in America, I've had to teach people how to pronounce my name, Atsuko. The U is there, but it's silent, right? So I said, how am I going to, connect to Norway? How am I going to explain that to people in Iceland? Are they going to understand me? Are they going to get my jokes? And then I go there and they're like, bitch, my name is Styrbjörg Jonsdottir, okay? Okay? I have one girl, she said, I have a cousin, her name is Jörg, 4 E's. Atsuko is not a problem for me. I felt so seen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I loved the Scandinavians. They're true weirdos. You're doing Scandinavia too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think we're doing like 16 shows, 13 countries. Yes. So I fucking love this schedule. I mean, I would like a little bit more downtime in between, but fuck it. I go, you know what it's like. You go at this pace and then you acclimate to this pace and then you just survive it. Like it's like you're surviving your own tour.
Right, totally. Yeah, we extended it. We did it over a month. We have the same tour people. I knew you were going to Europe. I was so excited. I was like, I want to tell her all about it. And I ranked the countries based on shyest to liveliest that I've performed in.
Okay, which ones are the shyest?
The shyest, number 28, sitting at number 28, is the Belgians.
Oh, really?
My opener did a backflip to silence during his set. And then he had to, that's the Belgians. He had to then walk back to the mic also in silence because he was far away from it by then. Isn't that wild?
That's good to know, though. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm going to Brussels, so I'll be there.
Yeah.
What about the Swiss?
The Swiss. Oh, they were pretty lively, actually. They were more lively. The Swedish too. And Parisians, I was told they're going to be very quiet, but they were one of the liveliest crowds I had. They were very locals too. They're getting weirder and they're getting into English speaking stand up. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Because half the places I'm going, I'm like, are we sure they speak English? My friend who lives in Sweden, he's like, listen, no one speaks English in Sweden. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I've been there. Everyone speaks English in Sweden. He's like, nobody speaks English. So I don't know if he's fucking with me. I assume he's fucking with me because I just stopped responding. I don't like those kinds of antagonistic texts.
I agree. He just wants to see if you'll get on stage and speak slower because you've been lied to.
I know. It's so hard for me to speak slowly. You know, I just don't have that clip. Even when I was recording my book, they're like, can you slow it down? I'm like, that's not authentic. I'm like, me slowing down my talking doesn't sound like how I tell a story. Right. I have to tell a story like this. So, yeah. And so either they're going to catch on or they're not. The great thing is I'll just be in one place for each day and then I'm out. So, you know, we'll see.
Right. Oh gosh, it was my favorite. Yeah, one day is enough. I feel like my opener also was newly single, so it was fun to see him going out every night to hook up with different men. You know?
Oh yeah, of course. I love that. Well, I'm bringing Yamanika to a few of my dates. You know Yamanika? And
yes.
She is horny for dick. So we are hoping to just get her plucked left, right, and center throughout Europe. Europe is not going to know what hit them once they meet Yamanika.
Oh my God, the two of you together, arrested, jail.
I know. We have a real hard time together, keeping our shit together. It's one bad decision after another.
Yeah, you are that White Castle movie, Harold and Kumar.
Kumar, yeah.
That's the two of you trying to find weed in Sweden.
Exactly, yes. Because I can't travel with drugs anymore because I've talked so openly about my love for them. So I can no longer transport them. So that leaves me with having to find drugs when I get there. But luckily, my reputation precedes itself and people are very hip to bringing, as you've seen yourself, people are very hip to bringing me drugs. And I encourage that.
That's where our brands differ a little bit, where people do throw like mushrooms at you from the crowd onto stage, right? And then for me, people show up to my shows in wigs of my bowl cut. So it's a little different. I'm more like Minnie Mouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And you're like
Papa
the bad
Smurf. I'm more like Papa Smurf and you're more like Minnie Mouse.
I knew it. Papa Smurf was definitely a drug dealer. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Atsuko Okatsuka. We're back with Atsuko. Okay, we're going to take some callers.
Yes.
Catherine, what do we got? Caller, writer in?
Yeah, so this first one is a written one. This is Anne Marie. She says, Dear Chelsea, I'm a listener in the UK. I listen every week and love the show. This is an off-piste topic, but one that I'd love for you to answer. I'm a writer, mainly TV comedy shows, and more recently, I turned my attention to drama. I'm the same age as you, Chelsea, and I want to write a show to perform myself. It'll be kind of stand-up, but despite my ability around creating a story, I don't really know where to start with stand-up. Do I just go to a comedy club and watch and learn? Do I just get up? My TV writing centers on complicated female dynamics, and I'd love to expand on that. I'm not exactly shy and retiring, but I've never done anything near stand-up, so I'd love your advice as I love your comedy and the way you present yourself in the world. I'm also super impressed / envious by how you vacation, the people, the locations, the edibles. Anyway, thank you, Anne Marie.
Oh, Anne-Marie. Well, that's easy, Atsuko. Don't you think? You got to get up on stage. First of all, you have to just get up on stage and you don't have to have a huge plan. You have to have 5 minutes, an idea. If you have 3 or 4 premises. I mean, some people beat out every single joke that they're going to tell. And your storytelling will evolve once you start getting comfortable being on stage. So I wouldn't worry about getting into the story so much as I would be as just getting stage time in front of people and exercising that, muscle. You have a couple of jokes, but they don't have to be you don't have to have 15 jokes set up. You can take your time, connecting with the audience, doing crowd work, asking questions, because that could spur something in you and that could spur a joke. It's very easy to talk to people and then get a new idea about how to come back with something. But the most important thing is to get on stage. Just get on stage and start getting your stage time. Prepare look at this. I just got a text. My phone just lit up Yamanika Saunders. I swear. I watched this. This is off topic, but I want to talk about it. I swear when you talk about people that the texts are being held in the iCloud and then they come through when your phone hears that name because your phone wants you on your phone as much as possible so that some of these texts are just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when you say their name, they come up. I saw this in a movie and I didn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way they're holding the text, but I believe they are. And today is proof.
Yeah. I swear that's the real science. Yeah.
What don't you think, Atsuko? Don't you think you just have to get on stage? Like, what was your first time on stage like?
Yeah, for sure. Getting on stage, but also watching a lot of it is nice. So like, go catch Chelsea when she's in London. Like watching other people and then just the way they storytell is very inspiring, especially if you feel like stuck, right? Because then, just to see someone else and how they structured together a bunch of their stories or what they found interesting about their stories to make into punchlines, that's really helpful. And then going on stage, because just consuming other art is, I think, so good. Even if it's like in the back of your head and you're like, oh, I don't know where, like, I learned to, realize the k sound is funny or whatever. Oh, it's because I saw, that comedian do it on stage and that made me laugh or which, or whatnot. I took a stand-up class. So that was how I got up on stage for the first time. So that's a little bit of a different journey, I feel like.
But you should map out what you're going to say. You should map out and have an idea. If you're one of those people who needs and you can take it on stage with you. You can take a piece of paper up there. Don't be shy about that to look and see, sometimes with all that adrenaline, you can kind of forget maybe one or thing, a couple of things that you want to say, but have a plan of what you're going to do when you get up there. And it can be a story, it can be jokes, but just start to just use that as a way to get comfortable on stage so that then when you have longer periods of time to be on stage, that's where the storytelling can come in. But I would treat the initial time as just like an introduction, to stand up and to have a couple of good jokes that you're willing to tell and try and do some crowd work because some people don't even know they're good at crowd work until they do it for the first time. And then it's great. And if you're scared of it, then, try it once and see if you like it. You might not be scared of it, but definitely just put the hours in. You need the hours to get comfortable with something.
Right.
Well, our next question comes from Alex. She is calling in. She's 33. So the subject line is tips to avoid identity crisis after quitting your dream job. Hey, Chelsea, I took a gummy before writing this, so bear with me. I was an annoying overachiever my whole life. Double major in college, graduated cum laude while working the whole time, straight to law school, graduated with honors, passed the bar exam first time, and got hired at what I thought was my dream job at 25. Blah, 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 gross. I have wanted to be a public defender since the moment I found out the job existed, and I started interning at my local public defender's office when I was 19. Everything I know and love came from this office. I met my husband here, many of my closest friends. I got my insane rescue dog from one of our unhoused clients, etc., etc. However, these last 2 years in full-time mental health rotation, I'll spare you the details unless you're truly thirsty, reached critical mass extreme burnout. I was a pinprick away from sobbing or screaming in your face at any time. I was so emotionally exhausted. After lots of overthinking, doubting, self-hatred over the last several months, I finally made the brave, correct decision and quit. I'm 33 and unemployed. My heart rate spiked just typing that out, but I'm calling it a sabbatical to avoid a few panic attacks if I can. My therapist and I agreed I'm taking 3 months off. The first month to truly rest, the next month to get the juices flowing for what the next chapter will look like, and the third month to execute on those ideas. I'm very confident in the decision I made, but shitting bricks over the next chapter. How do I handle these next 3 months as I figure out the direction I'm going to go? Because when I was 25, I thought this was my end game, and I know that sounds naive as tits, but I believe that to my bones. It was my identity. How do I best spend this time disentangling from the job from my identity, and being okay with it? Signed while trying not to increase my SSRI dosage, Alex.
Oh, Alex, you're fucking crushing it, first of all. What are you
Thank
talking
you.
about? You made all these great decisions for your own mental health. You did you got out of a job that you thought was your dream job that proved to be mentally debilitating to you and mentally harmful to your health. Like, that is amazing. Now you have and you're 33. You have your whole life ahead of you to do phase 2. Like, you're an example to so many people that are in jobs that they hate to actually walk away. I think you're already on the right track. Everything you said is great. Like, of course, there's going to be some anxiety about what you're going to do next. But you should also trust in the fact that you just got yourself out of a situation that was harmful to you. So you are the best person to take care of yourself, which means you're going to get to the place that you're going. And you're going to figure out what that next step is in a natural amount of time. You're giving yourself a month to do this, a month to do that. These are all amazing things. Like, you don't even need any advice from me. Atsuko, you could probably give Atsuko some advice. Atsuko, do you need advice from her, from Alex?
Help me out. Yeah, I'm like, I have to keep this bowl cut forever. Speaking of an identity crisis, I'm like, can I ever grow my hair out ever again? What happens if I lose my hairstylist friend, to other clients? What am I going to do? No, but for real, it's kind of like a divorce. Whenever someone's reached a point of having to do that, it's because it needed to be done. Yeah. And so this realization is badass. I would just say clock the moments of joy that you feel when you're trying different things and then you go, okay, so that's what I like. It's good to start to realize what you do like now, And so that's all. 'Cause you knew what you didn't like. Yeah. So that's all.
I guess it's also knowing how much rest is like too much rest. I've never rested in my life. My parents are immigrants. It's a huge fan. I know you can relate to this. Productivity is beaten into your head with a bat. So the idea of not doing anything because I have to, and there's an expectation on the other side, but just resting is a very foreign concept. So I guess balancing what is rest and healing versus what is productive steps to be taking, because I still have to work at some point. Like, I'm only 33. I still have to actually make money. Have you guys taken time like this before in your lives?
Yes, I have. I have all the time. I look at that rest as like filling up my bank. Do you know what I mean? Like, my emotional well-being. Like, I have burnt out so many times in my life, and now I understand the balance. Like, I understand that the rest is as important as the work. The play and the vacation is as important as the work. And so just because you're not doing anything for a month, like, if you're not doing anything for 6 months, that's a different story. If you say, okay, I'm assigning this month to resting and decompressing so that I can get focused and get re-energized and, I almost said get fucked. Maybe you need to get fucked too. But all of these things, like, fill yourself up with all of the stuff that you're going to need to get you to that next phase, which is going to be a more productive phase of actually thinking about where you want to go in your career, what the next steps are. I think you're completely healthy. And you know what you're doing? You're breaking a cycle. You're talking about your parents coming to this country and this work ethic, which is, of course, immigrants have. You come to America and you want to be successful. So you can't really blame people for doing that, but you don't need to be working all the time. You need to be like mentally healthy, and then your work can be joyful. You want to be able to put everything positive into your work. So I totally think everything you're doing is just spot on.
Nice.
Yeah. Alex, can I ask, what are some of the things that you're doing to sort of like in this like period of active rest? Like, are you going outside? Are you meditate? Like, what's sort of in your day to day?
So it's actually really funny. So I walk the dog more than he's ever been walked in his entire life. I'm reading all of the nerdy romantasy books that I never had time to read before and making no apologies for it. Like, my husband comes home and I've been on the couch for 8.5 hours, and I'm journaling and taking a lot of gummies. Because it helps me meditate. Like, it helps you be creative and silly and non-judgmental.
You don't have to explain yourself. I get it. I'm with you. I understand.
So I'm journaling a lot, and there's a huge, scary part of me that realizes that maybe I don't even want to be a lawyer, which is a bummer because I spent so much time and energy and money towards this education. And I feel like I gained this skill set of not having any fear of public speaking, not being afraid of grumpy old white men yelling at me because they did that every day in a robe. Like, that doesn't scare me in any field. And I really like to write. So there's a huge part of me that wants to take a risk even in that direction, and something that's not adjacent to my education at all.
Yeah. Well, and as a person who, like, everyone in my family is a lawyer except for me, I can say, like, there are a lot of ways to use your law degree that like do not involve going to court, that don't involve sort of like a traditional sort of like legal profession as we think about it. But also like, yeah, you have the freedom now to like reconsider. Maybe you use it again in 15 years when you want to do something different. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it doesn't mean that that's a wasted experience. And like you said, you've gained all of these other tools in your toolbox.
My sister was an attorney, hated it, hated working for a law firm, quit that and got a job for this health company where she was, as a lawyer, writing all of like the healthcare laws, like helping to create the healthcare laws around it. So she kind of switched because she was like, I hate this. I hate defending people. I hate like this kind of litigation aspect. She's like, I'm going to take this healthcare degree and turn it into something else where she can use her other skill sets, which is writing and editing and all of that stuff. So she's kind of made a different career out of being a healthcare attorney. And you can do the same thing. You just have to find out what drives you and what moves you. And your degree is going to help you in many ways. Yes. I mean, you just listed a bunch of them. So like you should be doing a podcast where you're giving advice to people.
You're so funny.
Maybe that's your next
hilarious.
move.
Maybe that's the landmark of the overconfident only daughter.
Yeah, right. Dear Alex, there's no reason.
Leave it to Chelsea to try to put you back to work. She just said she needed rest, Chelsea. Okay? She's like, oh, you start a podcast, come up with merch.
I love it. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, okay, Alex. Take care, Alex. Thank you.
We will. Take care.
Well, that was fucking easy.
Yeah, I know.
Like that girl was already doing everything that she needed to be told.
I know. She's doing great. And, you know, we don't think of like taking these periods of rest as like rest is part of the work. Like you said, Chelsea, like we don't think of it that way, but I think it's important to think of it that way.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm a big proponent of that. I mean, how do you feel about that, Atsuko? Do you guys get rest? Do you actually rest?
You said you found the balance of work and play. I'm still finding that. But I think it's because if you're really into work and you're afraid to like rest too long, you can totally schedule it in. You can put it in a calendar. You know what I mean? So that you know, oh, this week is for play and then next week is for work. So if you feel anxiety about playing too hard, then you can do that. You know, just like I think you can schedule in sex. I'm a big,
scheduler of sex. I actually scheduled the sex between you and Ryan. I don't know if you knew that, but I actually am the one that puts that on your calendar.
It's in Chelsea for 7 years.
Yeah.
No wonder. I was like, wow, it's very frequent this month for some reason.
Yes. I decided to step things up this month specifically.
I said, we need to work. Who's making us do it from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.?
Yours truly.
Thank you.
Our next caller is Sarah. She says, Dear Chelsea, I've been in my husband's family for almost 15 years and recently had a falling out with my sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife. She's been icing me out ever since. I found out she had the whole family over for our niece's birthday, and my husband and I were not invited. In her words, it wasn't a, quote, party, but a, quote, drop-by with cake and gifts. I can accept this, but the problem is now my sister-in-law will not speak to me at family events or text me back ever since I expressed my hurt at not being invited. My biggest concern is she's the aunt to my 2 children and continues to fawn over them while ignoring me at family events. I was in her wedding, yet I feel as though I'm being treated as a complete stranger. I've kept my side of the street clean by reaching out to her, and she continues to talk to members of my husband's family, but not directly to me about what she's upset about. I need a real bitch's advice on how to move forward from this. Do I humble myself and try to discuss the miscommunication again, or just act like nothing happened? We've been close for 8 years, so this is quite the proverbial slap in the face. Help, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Atsuko Okatsuka is our special guest today.
Hello. Hi.
So what was the falling out? What happened?
Well, so the actual falling out was like, it was her daughter's birthday, and we had been texting like that morning. I had given her a gift earlier on in the week, like to give to her daughter, because I knew I wasn't going to see her on her birthday, because she's like, we're going out of town and all this stuff. So then the morning of her birthday, she actually sent me, like I sent her a video from my daughter, who's her cousin, saying, happy birthday, hope you have a great day. And then she sent a video back of like the whole family singing happy birthday to her daughter. Like there was a cake, there were the present I had given her like earlier that week. And they were all like singing. And I was like, so everyone was invited. So I responded and I said,
Well, wait
hey,
a second. I'm sorry. Hold on. Back up.
Yeah.
You gave her a gift because you weren't going to be able to see her on her birthday.
exactly.
And then she had a birthday party on her birthday.
Yes, but when I said that my feelings were hurt because we live 3 minutes away, literally right up the road.
But how did you know you weren't going to see her on your birthday, her birthday?
Because she said that they were going out of town. Like she
Oh.
said her and, you know, her daughter and her husband were going out of town. And she was like, well, we're just going on our trip, you know, for our daughter's birthday. So, you know, thanks
Oh.
for giving me the gift now, you know. And so I felt like it was kind of omitted, you know, in a way. But
Yeah.
right. So then when I expressed that, I was like hurt, you know, by not being invited because she sent me that video. So I was like, this is kind of like really strange, right? I said, you know, I'm hurt that like, you know, we weren't invited because we live right up the road. And then she didn't talk to me after that at all.
That was the falling out? That there was no prior falling out?
Chelsea.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
confusing.
Is
I
it even
know.
a falling out? Like, what is it?
Well, no, the way I listened to your letter, I thought I heard that you guys had a falling out, and then this was like the aftermath of the falling out. So
No,
this
this
is the
is what-
actual incident. What is your husband does anyone in the family, has anyone conveyed to you what the issue is or why she didn't invite you or?
No, I was never really given a conversation because she just didn't talk to me after that. So it was in a message with like her and her husband. And he did say right away, he was like, oh, sorry, we didn't mean to exclude you. But she was like radio silent. So I was like, was it something else that happened?
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like something else happened that you're not aware of. So I would reach out to her again. First of all, you're family members. So
Yeah.
like it's not really helpful to not be speaking.
Totally.
And especially when you don't know what happened. So maybe you did something that you don't realize that hurt her feelings. And I would start with that. I would send her a text or an email or whatever's like the best way to contact her and just say, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Did I do something to
Yeah.
hurt you? Because it feels like I did. And I want to make sure that I'm fully accountable, like totally just
Yes.
be the bigger person and
Yeah.
ask her why she's upset with you. Like, you're not
Right.
responding to my text. We've been friends for 8 years. This is very strange. Please feel free to tell me if I've done something to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, hands down, like good old fashioned communication, right? Like,
Absolutely. You're part of the same family. So as long as there's not some huge rift, like
Right.
this should be fixable.
right. I totally agree. Oh, fantastic. You're the best.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious advice. No offense.
Freaking obvious, but you know what? It's been creating like just so much awkwardness. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
it's tense. Like we have a lot of family events, you know, together. We all
Yeah.
live really close. And then like, you know, I'll go to these events and like recently she started kind of being like, hey, you know, like maybe that's her way of trying to get a little closer, but then she still will not text. And this is like going from us texting multiple times a week, you know, our
Yeah.
kids were going to the same daycare, like going to exercise classes together to, you know, now she'll talk to me at the events every now and again. Like she'll be like, oh, hey, like at least a hi, but still like no text, no personal contact. So I'm like, I wonder if she's trying to just like show face for like the in-laws and stuff, you know?
I wonder if this is a like to pull her aside at one of the family events sort of thing and like get her face to face. Cause I feel like sometimes when people are being weird like this, if you actually just like address it to their face, they'll like totally back down and be like, oh, no, there's like nothing weird. And then it's like,
Yeah.
well, they do sort of have to stick to their guns a little bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas via text, like she might give you like a one word, like I'm fine, everything's fine or whatever. And then continue to be a weirdo, you know?
100%. Right. Like humanize myself a little bit.
Yeah. I would say that's right. I would say to do it in person so that she can't just not respond because
Waffle.
then it's just more
Yeah.
of the same. It's so
Right.
weird to not respond, but something must have happened that you're not aware of.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You know, I'm like, I've been overthinking it, going through it. Like, I'm like, what could this possibly be? You know, I thought of addressing it with my mother-in-law myself because she's one of the people that she's been talking to, you know, like about it. And my mother-in-law is super cool. Like I know that she'd be open to a conversation, but I don't want to open it up to that. You know, like I thought I was being the better person initially by not doing that. Like I was like, this is between her and I, like, let's just knock it out. But I think an in-person conversation would have been better. I just thought maybe she needed space. Like I didn't know really, you know, how to approach it because this has never happened to me
Yeah.
before, especially in my tight-knit group, you know, your ride or dies, right? So this is like totally crazy.
Yeah. I would say like, yeah, talk to her in person. If she's still, it's sort of like, then she has to either commit to like, no, everything's fine. Or like, if she keeps acting weird after that, then you got to address it again and be like, all right, what's the deeper thing here? Is there anything? And then if she keeps being weird, I guess just let her be kind of weird, you know? Like you don't necessarily have to be talking to her the entire time at family events sort of thing, but just know that, you know, you're still keeping your side of the street clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you ask her what's up and she's like, there's nothing wrong, then you're like, okay, fine. I tried, whatever. Like, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what happened. You're not going to tell me the truth, and there's nothing else you could do.
Yeah, and hopefully she will change her tune, you know?
I hope so. I mean, because I feel like I've always been a good friend. Like I did like a speech at her wedding because her like sister didn't want to do it, stuff like that, whatever. But it's like, yeah, there hasn't been anything I can think of that was just like, you know, oh, I really like pissed her off, you know? It was like, just I feel maybe I don't know. I've like been going around like, was she pulling back for a while? Like, you know,
just ask her, just hit it straight on, and then, you know, if you don't get the answer you like, then wait a little bit and then talk to her mother, you know, your mother-in-law, and be like, listen, I don't know what's going on here, but this isn't like a healthy dynamic. Like we all have kids. I want to be friends. I don't understand what happened. I asked her what happened. She won't tell me. So how can I, you know what I mean? But start with her and just be direct so that she has to answer you.
Totally. And I'm okay with not being like bestie sister-in-laws too. We've been friends for a long time, but I'm like, it's all right if that's what it's going to be, you know, us just seeing each other at the family events. It's just, there was no, I guess that would be a weird conversation for her to have with me, to be like, hey, I don't want to be as close as we are, you know, like, can we just, but,
yeah, maybe that is it, but that seems a little odd.
Weird way to go about it, right?
Will you check in with us after you guys have a conversation? Let us know if things get better.
Absolutely.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay, well, good luck.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Atsuko, you don't have a sister-in-law, right? Ryan doesn't have siblings, or does he?
He does. He has two. Yeah. And so that's still a newer dynamic for me too, to learn, you know? Yeah. Because it's like they're relatives, but they kind of are not, you know? And so it's like, how much?
Well, they are your relatives, Atsuko. First of all, they are.
I mean, they are. Oops. I know. They're like listening. They're like, excuse me, what are we? And I'm like, are you friends?
Now you're going to be fighting with your sisters-in-law.
I had a small family growing up. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's new. I'm still learning this chosen family versus regular family thing, you know, because I married Ryan and then suddenly I'm an aunt too. Right. So that's a lot. That's a lot to figure out. It's like, well, maybe I'm not good at being an aunt. And I'm okay. I'm not great.
Yeah, but you know what? You can always improve on your aunting skills. It's a new role. So, you know, like, I don't know. Being an aunt is kind of the best of both worlds. You get to be an aunt with no responsibility. You know what I mean? You get to just be like a fun infuser, which is, I take a lot of joy in that. And especially, I take a lot of joy when things get serious. It's like, get the fuck out of here. You know, like if you've got real problems, go talk to your parents.
No, it's true. I know you love it. Yeah. I'm always I'm still not completely me around them. I think when I can,
I see. Exciting. Yeah. Right.
Cause I'm like still getting to know the sister-in-laws. So I'm like, yes, I will not curse around you. And yes, I will give you money. And I'm like, God, I'm going broke.
Sounds like a great setup. I won't curse around you and I have to pay you. Perfect.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, what am I, in a church?
Maybe you should start swearing and then you can put money in a tip jar or in a swear jar. For
Every time you swear, you get to give them $1.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Atsuko. And we're back with Atsuko Okatsuka, who's got a new special out on Disney and Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu and Disney Plus. It is called Father, and it is her sophomore special. Okay, what else do we got? What do we have to wrap things up today, Catherine?
We have one quickie to wrap up with. Abby says, Dear Chelsea, I have a close friend that has recently started sending me voice recordings of her singing. Oh. She sings beautifully, but her boyfriend doesn't really care to hear her sing, so I think I'm the only one getting these, which makes me sad. I don't ever listen to them in their entirety, sometimes not at all. How do I respond in a text to the constant voice recording messages, or should I even respond? Abby.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
This is a very specific,
very specific
incident and very specific. Yeah.
But it is like Text etiquette. It's evolving.
Well, etiquette. I mean, the etiquette is blown out the window by the person recording songs and sending them to her fucking friend. Who does that?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess somebody who has a boyfriend that won't listen to her sing, which is another problem that she has. I would just write, honestly, I would write beautiful a couple of times and then I would stop responding. That's what I would do. But I don't know. I mean, you want to give your friend some positive feedback because she clearly isn't getting it at home. And if she is a beautiful singer and you're not telling a lie, even if it was bad singing, I would write, that's beautiful. And then I would write that a couple times. I would write the same thing exactly. Like, that's beautiful. And then the next time, that's beautiful.
Yes.
And then I stop responding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like when a kid is showing you a rock over and over.
Yes.
And you're like, that's really good. That's so good. And then they're like, here's a song. That's really cute too. That's so good. And then, if you, exactly, like, it's like positive reinforcement thing. Once they stop hearing it, they go, okay, I've had my fill of feeling good.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, I get emails. I have a friend who is like, just keeps sending me emails. And she wants, like, our relationship ended a long time ago and she's trying to rekindle our relationship. And I'm not interested, but I don't want to be mean. I'm just serious. Like, I'm not interested in rekindling. Like, I don't have the bandwidth. Let's move on. So I wrote back the first time, like, this is very sweet. I want nothing but the best for you. I'm sending you so much love. I really don't have any space in my life right now to rekindle our friendship. I don't mean that as an affront to you. I don't hold any ill will towards you, but that's how I feel, and I'm pretty busy, so let's just move on in our separate ways and let go. Then I get another email. Then I get a fourth email. I got 4 emails, and I'm like, she's trying to basically harass me into rekindling our friendship. And now I have to be like, so I stopped responding, But if I get another one, I'm gonna be like, you're harassing me. Like I set a boundary that you're not like, this isn't the same as getting a voice memo of a song. But
either way, they're both attacks. Okay. Either way, they're both attacks, and you're trapped, and you didn't ask for it.
It's an assault.
Yeah.
It's an assault.
We all deserve our own boundaries. Her boyfriend created one with her, and now you might need to with her too.
I had a friend years ago who would like actually do this in person. Like she'd be like, oh, a new song for my album. And she would be like, let me just play a little snippet. And then she would play it, but she'd play the whole song and then sing it like a foot from my face to my face. And I'm like too much of a people pleaser to just like go away. But just be grateful this is a voice memo. And you can listen
I have
to 2
an idea.
seconds to say.
Tell her to post it online. That's validation she can get from somewhere
There you
else.
go. Beautiful.
Post
You should
this.
post this
That's
on Instagram.
Great. You should post this.
Yeah.
That's great advice.
Brilliant.
Yes. And hopefully the response is positive, because otherwise you're going to be dealing with a different friend after she gets some public
shaming.
critique.
But if she's
I
a
had
beautiful
a friend who
singer-
played. I've hooked up with a couple of guys that are in the industry, and when I've hooked up with them, I've had one guy show me his pilot, an episode of a pilot that he shot from start to finish. And this was before we were supposed to have sex. Of course, I couldn't have sex with him after because I don't want to see your pilot. And then I had another guy show me a sizzle reel from a movie that he was producing. And I was like, you're killing my boner. Like, I don't know why people don't understand that. That's like me inviting people over and saying, watch my stand-up special, or Atsuko inviting people over and being like, hey, not even inviting them to watch a special, saying, hey, do you want to hear some jokes from my special? It's like, if they did, they'd fucking come see you perform. It's just all so, like, it's so unself-aware. Like, nobody wants to do that.
Totally.
It's like taking videos. I can compare it to when I'm in Whistler. I take videos for, like, when I'm skiing with the kids, they want videos all the time of them. They're going to jump off this, or they're going to go in the park and they're going to ride this rail. And I don't fucking have time for that shit. I'm not here to take videos of children. If I wanted to take videos of children, I would have had children. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah. I'm not the one.
You go, here's a GoPro. What's beautiful is it captures your actions while you move without someone else doing it. It's these things. I had a guy read me poetry before sex too. And he goes, I told him to say, I said, that was good. That was beautiful. That same thing you told her to do. Mm-hmm. And afterwards he goes, thank you. I'm either thinking of being a poet that travels around the world or be a cop. I said, those are 2 very different things, sweetie. And by then it was like an hour in, you know? So exactly. It's like respect. I came here for you. I'm going to offer you my body.
Yeah, my body and my choice. And you
Yes.
you should actually, anyone who's on the fence about becoming a poet who's going to travel the world and their other option is a cop, you should just have them become a cop.
Yeah.
We need more poetry in police work.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, but I don't know. His poems were intense. So anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm first of all, this is the first I'm hearing that you took another lover before you met Ryan. And does he know about it? Does Ryan know about it? Ryan,
You're like-
do you know about this?
You're like, as a good, well, I'll put it in the calendar, our shared calendar that the three of us share.
I like that we share a calendar, and I want to
Sex
continue
calendar.
that. I want to continue that through 2028 at the very least.
Yeah, just put any thoughts, notes in there that you want. Yeah.
I have thoughts and notes for all of us, all three of us. I'll be the leader of our calendar.
Yes, please. Thank you, mother.
Thank you, daughter. Okay, Atsuko, love talking to you. I'm sorry that this is the way we have to catch up now. I mean, with our busy travel schedules, but I'm going to send you guys some dates and see if you want to come to Mallorca this summer. We'll see what you're doing. I'm only going for a week this summer, but I have a little fun group of comics, so maybe you guys can come. I'll send you dates.
Incredible. Yes. Okay. Sounds good. Yes.
Okay. Love you. Congrats
Love
on your
you
new
too.
special. I haven't seen it yet, you guys, because they haven't sent it to me. So otherwise I would be waxing poetic about how funny it is, because I know it's fucking funny because it's Atsuko and she's ridiculous. So it's called Father, and you can watch it on Hulu, Disney+.
You're incredible.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
Have a great
Atsuko.
day.
Bye.
Bye.